Someone shared this video clip about the epidemic situation in Sichuan. Someone replied, the Chinese Communist Party has been applying means that it has been using to maintain so-called social stability in the battle against COVID. But what's ironic is that the Chinese government deems all these as examples that prove how advanced the Chinese political system under the one-party dictatorship is. Someone replied, initially, in the beginning, I really didn't care whether people call it Wuhan virus or not, until I realized that there were indeed many Chinese people who were not even aware that the COVID virus did originate from Wuhan. In the beginning of this year, there were many incidents in which people from Hubei were discriminated against, and a year hasn't passed yet. Many people seem to have forgotten them. Calling COVID-19 the Wuhan virus is just a way to remind ourselves where the virus really came from. It is also a way to remind the world that Beijing has to be held accountable. Someone recalled, I remember clearly that earlier this year, when the virus first broke out, when people from Wuhan left Hubei province after moving to other areas, for example, when they needed to move back to their parents' home, right after they arrived, their doors were immediately and completely blocked. There was also the incident when police officers in Jiangxi refused people from Hubei to enter, and when they tried to, they beat them, causing clashes among hundreds of people. Someone shared a notice sent by school administrators which said this time every individual would need to pay around 500 yuan for the vaccine, and this would have to be kept confidential. Someone replied, didn't they say last time that the cost was only 200 yuan? How come it became 500 this time? Someone shared a video clip explaining how many people actually hold misunderstandings about Emperor Qin Shihuang.
被历史误解的第一人，人们说他是暴君，可他在位37年，却从未妄杀一位将军大臣。荆轲向他行刺，他怒火万丈；可秦军攻占燕国，却从未屠城。都说他暴虐无常，可即使春月在寿宴上咒他江山不能长久，也依然没有被加害。说他苛政猛于虎，他却允许犯人农忙放假44天。 制定了世界上最早保护人犯权利的法律，说他穷奢极欲，修建阿房宫，然而实际上阿房宫从未建成；说他坑儒，其实呢是400多个江湖术士，而且行骗在先。都说陈胜吴广是因为迟到不能活命，所以揭竿而起。然而经过考证，当时迟到仅仅是罚款。
Someone shared a screenshot which is from a report regarding an interoperability test between Huawei Video Cloud Solution and MACV Dynamic Face Recognition System. This document dates back to January of 2018. The highlighted part implies a passing grade for Uyghur alarm, which is basically an alert designed specifically to identify members of the Uyghur population in China, an ethnic minority group in the Xinjiang region under the Chinese government's persecution. Someone replied, this is a clear indication of Huawei's involvement in the Chinese government's abuses of human rights. As a result of this, a French footballer decided to end Huawei contract over these claims of its involvement in Uyghur surveillance. Someone said, I live in mainland China. It is only because I want to learn the truth that I circumvented the Great Firewall to access Twitter and Facebook and other media outlets in the US. But now it appears that I would not be able to gain factual information even by doing so. Seeing what they've done to censor speech and silence dissent, especially over the past few months. A Chinese netizen who appears to be tweeting from Shanghai said that the so-called superiority of the Western democratic system has been destroyed in this 2020 election. This is a sad but irrefutable fact. It is unbelievable that a country of beacon of hope for the entire world, a presidential candidate that committed fraud in the election, was recognized as the new president-elect, and discussions surrounding election fraud as well as coverage about it have been censored by social media as well as the legacy media. Personally, I do not like Trump, but clearly Biden, or in other words, the phenomenon and dynamics behind Biden coming to power is a worse choice. Someone replied, communism and the left evil forces have gained control of the media as well as the educational system. It has been manipulating many concepts such as dictator totalitarianism to attack Trump. I know that what I am talking about is a sensitive topic, and if not done in an extremely careful way, I would also be labeled as a dictator, and one that does not follow political correctness. But I have to say that I solemnly support Trump being a dictator, because at the present time, being a dictator for him means safeguarding the Constitution. Someone shared this video clip in which President Trump explained why he would never forgive Barack Obama.
Oh, Michelle Obama said that. I haven't seen it. I guess she wrote a book. She got paid a lot of money to write a book. And they always insist that you come up with controversial. Well, I'll give you a little controversy back. I'll never forgive him for what he did to our United States military. By not funding it properly, it was depleted. Everything was old and tired. And I came in and I had to fix it. And I'm in the process of spending tremendous amounts of money. So I'll never forgive him for what he did to our military. I'll never forgive him for what he did in many other ways, which I'll talk to you about. But what he did, because she talked about safety, what he did to our military made this country very unsafe for you and you and you.
Someone shared a video clip showing Chinese Americans supporting Trump at a DC rally. This is Mrs. Xue, an immigrant from China who has lived in the U.S. for 20 years.
这种欺骗的手段，这就像第三世界的一样了，像委内瑞拉一样了，不像是美国了。这是美国，怎么可以在这里可以这样欺骗呢？我们不能允许这样。如果允许的话，没有下一次了。我们美。
Someone shared a website at ccp.com and encouraged those to sign the petition calling for an end of the CCP. Someone shared a tweet from lawyer Linwood who said, Joe Biden and Hunter Biden are corrupted by Communist China money. So are many other Democrats and Republicans. Battle to be fought is not Biden versus Trump or Democrats versus Republicans. We are on the brink of war, and the battle is communism versus freedom. China versus USA. Pick a side now.
Child, we will take you in. Child,